Hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Dose of English. I'm Tom, your friendly English teacher, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. How are you doing? I hope you're ready for another amazing English lesson. Today we're going to learn something super important, the difference between have to and must. I know, these two can be really confusing, right? But don't worry, by the end of this video you'll understand exactly when to use each one, and you'll sound much more natural when you speak English. We'll practice together with lots of shadowing exercises. Remember, shadowing means you listen to me and then repeat exactly what I say. It's like being my echo. This helps train your mouth and brain to work together in English. So get ready to use your voice. This isn't a passive lesson where you just sit and watch. You're going to speak with me. Are you ready? Let's jump right in. Part 1. What does have to mean? Let's start with have to. This is probably the most common way to talk about obligations in everyday English. When we use have to, we're talking about something that is necessary, something we need to do. Listen carefully. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. Now you repeat. She has to study for her exam. She has to study for her exam. Now you repeat. We have to pay our bills. We have to pay our bills. Now you repeat. Now here's something interesting about have to. Usually it means the obligation comes from outside, from other people, from rules, or from circumstances. It's not your personal feeling. It's something external. For example, when I say I have to go to work, it's because my boss expects me there, or because I need money to live. The obligation comes from outside of me. Let's practice some more. They have to wear uniforms at school. They have to wear uniforms at school. Now you repeat. You have to show your ID at the airport. You have to show your ID at the airport. Now you repeat. He has to take medicine every day. He has to take medicine every day. Now you repeat. Part 2. What does must mean? Now let's talk about must. This word is a bit stronger and more formal than have to. When we use must, we're often expressing our personal feelings about what's necessary or important. Listen, I must call my mother. I must call my mother. Now you repeat. You must try this cake. You must try this cake. Now you repeat. We must be careful. We must be careful. Now you repeat. Here's a little secret that many textbooks don't tell you clearly. In modern spoken English, especially in American English, we use have to much more often than must for obligations. Must can sound very formal or even bossy sometimes, but we do use must in certain situations. Let me show you. For strong recommendations, you must see this movie. You must see this movie. Now you repeat. For logical conclusions, she must be tired after working all day. She must be tired after working all day. Now you repeat. For formal rules or signs, visitors must sign in at reception. Visitors must sign in at reception. Now you repeat. Part 3. The grammar details. Now let's look at how these words change in different tenses. This is where many students get confused, so pay close attention. Present tense with have to. I have to work. I have to work. Now you repeat. He has to work. He has to work. Now you repeat. They have to work. They have to work. Now you repeat. Notice that with he, she, and it, we say has to, not have to. Past tense, here's something important. Must doesn't have a past form. So we always use had to for the past. I had to work yesterday. I had to work yesterday. Now you repeat. She had to leave early. She had to leave early. Now you repeat. We had to wait for an hour. We had to wait for an hour. Now you repeat. Future tense. For the future, we usually use will have to. I will have to study tomorrow. I will have to study tomorrow. Now you repeat. They'll have to arrive early. They'll have to arrive early. Now you repeat. You'll have to be patient. You'll have to be patient. Now you repeat. Part 4. Negative forms. This is tricky. The negative forms of have to and must have very different meanings. This is super important. Don't have to means it's not necessary. You have a choice. I don't have to work on Sundays. I don't have to work on Sundays. Now you repeat. You don't have to come if you're tired. You don't have to come if you're tired. Now you repeat. She doesn't have to wear a uniform. She doesn't have to wear a uniform. Now you repeat. But must not or mustn't means it's prohibited. You are not allowed to do it. You mustn't smoke here. You mustn't smoke here. Now you repeat. We mustn't be late. We mustn't be late. Now you repeat. Students mustn't use phones in class. Students mustn't use phones in class. Now you repeat. So remember, don't have to equals not necessary. You can choose. Mustn't equals not allowed. Prohibition. This is a common mistake even for advanced learners, so don't worry if it seems confusing at first. Practice section. Let's get active. Exercise 1. Question practice. Now let's practice making questions. With have to, we need to use do or does. Do you have to work today? Do you have to work today? Now you repeat. Does she have to leave now? Does she have to leave now? Now you repeat. Did they have to wait long? Did they have to wait long? Now you repeat. With must, we just switch the word order. Must I finish this today? Must I finish this today? Now you repeat. Must we leave so early? Must we leave so early? Now you repeat. But honestly, these must questions sound very formal. In everyday conversation, we usually use do I have to instead. Exercise 2. Real life situations. Let's practice with some common situations. I'll give you a situation and you'll practice the right response. Situation 1. At the doctor's office. You have to take this medicine twice a day. You have to take this medicine twice a day. Now you repeat. You mustn't skip any doses. You mustn't skip any doses. Now you repeat. You don't have to stay in bed, but you should rest. You don't have to stay in bed, but you should rest. Now you repeat. Situation 2. At school, students have to submit homework on time. Students have to submit homework on time. Now you repeat. You must respect your teachers. You must respect your teachers. Now you repeat. You don't have to join clubs, but it's fun. You don't have to join clubs, but it's fun. Now you repeat. Situation 3. At work, I have to attend the meeting at 3 p.m. I have to attend the meeting at 3 p.m. Now you repeat. We must meet our deadline. We must meet our deadline. Now you repeat. You don't have to work overtime today. You don't have to work overtime today. Now you repeat. Exercise 3. Common mistakes to avoid. Let me show you some mistakes I hear often and how to fix them. Mistake 1. I must go home. Correct. I must go home. I must go home. Now you repeat. Remember, after must, we use the base form of the verb no to. Mistake 2. She must work today. Correct. She doesn't have to work today. She doesn't have to work today. Now you repeat. We can't use doesn't with must. Mistake 3. Do you must finish this? Correct. Do you have to finish this? Do you have to finish this? Now you repeat. Questions with must don't use do. Storytelling section, real conversations. Story 1. Planning a party. Let's listen to a conversation between two friends planning a birthday party. Pay attention to how they use have to and must. Sarah. We have to plan Lisa's surprise party. We have to plan Lisa's surprise party. Now you repeat. Mike. Yes, we must keep it secret. Yes, we must keep it secret. Now you repeat. Sarah. I have to buy decorations tomorrow. I have to buy decorations tomorrow. Now you repeat. Mike. Do we have to invite everyone from work? Do we have to invite everyone from work? Now you repeat. Sarah. No, we don't have to invite everyone. No, we don't have to invite everyone. Now you repeat. Mike. But we must invite her best friends. But we must invite her best friends. Now you repeat. Sarah. Of course. And we mustn't tell her boyfriend. He can't keep secrets. Of course. And we mustn't tell her boyfriend. He can't keep secrets. Now you repeat. Mike. You're right. Oh, I just remembered. I have to work late on Friday. You're right. Oh, I just remembered. I have to work late on Friday. Now you repeat. Sarah. That's okay. You don't have to help with setup. That's okay. You don't have to help with setup. Now you repeat. Story 2. First day at a new job. Here's another conversation. Tom is starting his first day at a new company. Manager. Welcome, Tom. Let me explain what you have to do today. Welcome, Tom. Let me explain what you have to do today. Now you repeat. Tom. Thank you. Do I have to wear a suit every day? Thank you. Do I have to wear a suit every day? Now you repeat. Manager. No, you don't have to wear a suit. Smart casual is fine. No, you don't have to wear a suit. Smart casual is fine. Now you repeat. Tom, great. What time do I have to arrive? Great. What time do I have to arrive? Now you repeat. Manager, you have to be here by 9 a.m. You have to be here by 9 a.m. Now you repeat. Manager, but you must clock in when you arrive. But you must clock in when you arrive. Now you repeat. Tom, understood. Do I have to stay until 6? Understood. Do I have to stay until 6? Now you repeat. Manager. Usually yes, but today you can leave at 5. Usually yes, but today you can leave at 5. Now you repeat. Manager. Oh, and you mustn't use your phone during meetings. Oh, and you mustn't use your phone during meetings. Now you repeat. Tom. Of course, I must remember all these rules. Of course, I must remember all these rules. Now you repeat. Story 3. Weekend plans. Let's practice with one more conversation about making weekend plans. Anna. I'm so tired. I have to clean my apartment this weekend. I'm so tired. I have to clean my apartment this weekend. Now you repeat. Ben, do you have to do it all in one day? Do you have to do it all in one day? Now you repeat. Anna. No, I don't have to, but I want to finish quickly. No, I don't have to, but I want to finish quickly. Now you repeat. Ben, you must be exhausted from work. You must be exhausted from work. Now you repeat. Anna, I am. I also have to visit my parents on Sunday. I am. I also have to visit my parents on Sunday. Now you repeat. Ben, you don't have to do everything yourself. I can help. You don't have to do everything yourself. I can help. Now you repeat. Anna, really, you don't have to do that. Really, you don't have to do that. Now you repeat. Ben, I want to help, but I must leave by 4 p.m. I want to help, but I must leave by 4 p.m. Now you repeat. Anna, that's perfect. We mustn't forget to buy cleaning supplies. That's perfect. We mustn't forget to buy cleaning supplies. Now you repeat. Cultural notes and natural usage, when native speakers use each one. Let me share something interesting about how native speakers actually use these words in daily life. In American English, we use have to for almost everything. It sounds friendly and normal. When Americans say must, it often sounds very serious or urgent. In British English, must is a bit more common, but have to is still used more in casual conversation. Here's a fun fact. When we're being polite and making suggestions, we often use must in a friendly way. You must try the chocolate cake here. You must try the chocolate cake here. Now you repeat. You must meet my sister. You'll love her. You must meet my sister. You'll love her. Now you repeat. We must have lunch sometime. We must have lunch sometime. Now you repeat. This kind of must isn't really about obligation. It's about enthusiasm and friendliness. Expressions with have to and must. Let's learn some common expressions. I have to hand it to you means I must admit you did well. I have to hand it to you. That was smart. I have to hand it to you. That was smart. Now you repeat. You have to be kidding. Dash means I can't believe it. You have to be kidding. That's amazing. You have to be kidding. That's amazing. Now you repeat. It must be nice. Sometimes used sarcastically. It must be nice to have a big house. It must be nice to have a big house. Now you repeat. I must say, used to emphasize an opinion. I must say, your English is improving. I must say, your English is improving. Now you repeat. Advanced practice, putting it all together, mixed practice sentences. Now let's mix everything we've learned. Yesterday I had to work late, but today I don't have to. Yesterday I had to work late, but today I don't have to. Now you repeat. You must be hungry. You haven't eaten all day. You must be hungry. You haven't eaten all day. Now you repeat. Do we have to book tickets in advance? Do we have to book tickets in advance? Now you repeat. Students mustn't cheat on exams. Students mustn't cheat on exams. Now you repeat. She doesn't have to come if she doesn't want to. She doesn't have to come if she doesn't want to. Now you repeat. We must remember to lock the door. We must remember to lock the door. Now you repeat. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think about it. Now you repeat. You don't have to shout. I can hear you. You don't have to shout. I can hear you. Now you repeat. Rapid fire practice. Let's do some quick practice. I'll say a sentence and you repeat immediately. I have to go. I have to go. Now you repeat. You must listen. You must listen. Now you repeat. We don't have to wait. We don't have to wait. Now you repeat. They mustn't know. They mustn't know. Now you repeat. She has to try. She has to try. Now you repeat. Common situations where you'll use these. At the airport, you have to show your passport. You have to show your passport. Now you repeat. You must arrive 2 hours early for international flights. You must arrive 2 hours early for international flights. Now you repeat. You don't have to print your boarding pass. You don't have to print your boarding pass. Now you repeat. You mustn't bring liquids over 100 millilitres. You mustn't bring liquids over 100 millilitres. Now you repeat. At a restaurant, do I have to make a reservation? Do I have to make a reservation? Now you repeat. You don't have to tip, but it's appreciated. You don't have to tip, but it's appreciated. Now you repeat. We must try their famous pasta. We must try their famous pasta. Now you repeat. You mustn't bring outside food. You mustn't bring outside food. Now you repeat. Learning English. You have to practice every day. You have to practice every day. Now you repeat. You must be patient with yourself. You must be patient with yourself. Now you repeat. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Now you repeat. You mustn't give up. You mustn't give up. Now you repeat. Final practice dialogue. Let's finish with one complete dialogue that uses everything we've learned. This is between a teacher and a student teacher. Good morning, class. Today we have to review for the test. Good morning, class. Today we have to review for the test. Now you repeat. Student, do we have to memorize all the vocabulary? Do we have to memorize all the vocabulary? Now you repeat. Teacher, you don't have to memorize everything, but you must know the basic words. You don't have to memorize everything, but you must know the basic words. Now you repeat. Student, I had to miss last class. What did I miss? I had to miss last class. What did I miss? Now you repeat. Teacher, you must have been sick. Here are the notes. You must have been sick. Here are the notes. Now you repeat. Student, thank you. I have to study hard this weekend. Thank you. I have to study hard this weekend. Now you repeat. Teacher. Good, but you mustn't stress too much. Good, but you mustn't stress too much. Now you repeat. Student, will we have to write an essay? Will we have to write an essay? Now you repeat. Teacher. No, you don't have to write an essay this time. No, you don't have to write an essay this time. Now you repeat. Student. Great. I must go to my next class now. Great. I must go to my next class now. Now you repeat. Teacher. Of course, you mustn't be late. Of course, you mustn't be late. Now you repeat. Tips for remembering. Here are my top tips for remembering when to use have to and must. When in doubt, use have to. It's almost always correct and sounds natural. Think of must as your personal feeling and have to as external rules. Remember, don't have to equals choice, mustn't equals forbidden. Practice these patterns until they feel automatic. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become. Listen to how native speakers use these in movies and shows. You'll notice have to everywhere. Recap and call to action. Wow, we've covered so much today. Let's quickly review what we learned. Have to is for obligations, usually from external sources. Must is more formal and often shows personal feelings. Don't have to means it's not necessary. Mustn't means it's not allowed. In everyday speech, have to is much more common. You did an amazing job today. Remember, learning English is a journey, and every time you practice, you get a little bit better. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep trying. Your homework is to use have to and must at least 5 times today. Talk to yourself, write sentences, or practice with a friend. The more you use these words, the more natural they'll feel. If you enjoyed this lesson, you must subscribe to Daily Dose of English. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next lesson. Also, leave a comment below. Tell me one thing you have to do tomorrow. I love reading your comments and seeing your progress. Remember, you don't have to learn everything at once, but you must keep practicing. I believe in you, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. Thank you so much for learning with me today. This is Tom from Daily Dose of English saying goodbye for now. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next video. You've got this. Bye-bye.